Okay, so because either this video is found on YouTube, I really want to call it stupid tube, but and I can't post what I really actually think here. So I'm almost on my third strike, and unless I curtail these videos and direct you to somewhere else where you can actually view the entire video, I will link you down in the description box below, and you can go to my BitChute, Rumble, Brighteon, Locals, or my Patreon page, where you can find me uploading all of this information in its fullest so that I can get the news out to you. The real news that is unencumbered. And I'm like becoming enemy number one here on YouTube, so I gotta watch what I say. And if you're getting this from Truth Social, come on, guys. Can you help us to upload more than 40 megabytes? Seriously? I talk more in 20 minutes for 40 megabytes than you're allowing me to upload, so I'm kind of like irritated about that. But they're doing a good thing, and I congratulate all of their accomplishments. Thank you so much for letting me be here on Truth Social. But if you can't get the whole of this video, you might want to go check out Rumble or BitChute or Brighteon that actually has the capacity to hold more than 40 megabytes worth of information, so you can get the real news that you're never going to hear on TV. Okay, bye y'all. In other news, the Trilateral Commission is tightening its grip over the U.S. State Department. Did you know that former Google head has assembled a secretive fund with Washington insiders to help direct U.S. national security investments potentially to its own benefit? Eric Schmidt has been quietly building an investment vehicle blending public and private funds that could grant the former Google CEO unusual influence over U.S. national security policy and potentially the opportunity to steer taxpayer money to his own bets. The blandly named America's Frontier Fund, which has so far received no media attention, will be led by who's who of the defense establishment combined with close associates of Schmidt's ventures in business, finance, and public policy. The highly powered investment vehicle appears to be modeled on the QTEL. Interesting. A nonprofit venture capital firm with close ties to the CIA that has faced allegations of serious conflicts of interest amongst its trustees. In fact, America's Frontier Fund, AFF, will be helmed by the former chief executive in QTEL, Gilman Louie, and a former executive at Schmidt Futures, Jordan Blaszczak. A rooster of well-connected defense insiders will populate the board and serve as its anchor funders, including Michelle Flournoy, former Undersecretary of Defense under false President Barack Hussein Obama, former Secretary of Defense Ash Carter, and H.R. McMaster, U.S. National Security Advisor at the Trump White House. Also listed among the new group's board of directors and anchors funders, Eric Schmidt himself. According to a draft press release published briefly on its website, which suggested it was preparing for an official launch as soon as this week. The draft release was viewed by TTP before it was taken down, obviously. The exact source and amount of public money involved remains unclear. However, the draft press release acknowledged AFF's unusual nature, referring to it as the nation's first public-private fund able to leverage public, private, and philanthropic capital for defense-related tech investment. This is huge, folks. This is fascism 101. You are being instructed to how they are putting up the tyranny around you. This structure enables AFF not only to raise and deploy long-term private capital, but also to invest government funding designated for technology development, it's stated. Other publicly available documents shed some additional light on the fund's plans. A job posting noted that AFF's primary government clients would include the Department of Commerce, Defense and Energy, and in future state-level clients. Blashek, AFF's president, has described AFF's average investment range between $500 and $10 million with a sweet spot of $1 million. It is unclear whether the new fund and its principals will be subject to any governance controls to prevent abuse. One concern is that AFF could confer a special set of seals of approval by the U.S. government on highly speculative investments by its well-connected principals. The prospect of a government contract, especially in the lucrative area of defense, could generate outsized gains for early investors. Another concern is that many of those involved in AFFs are extremely well connected in the U.S. government, in venture capital, and in tech startups. It is unclear if any safeguards could prevent the principals from profiting from the inside knowledge and ability to direct public investments. It is more than a theoretical issue. According to 2016 report in the Wall Street Journal, nearly half of In-Q-Tel's trustees had a financial connection with companies backed by Central Intelligence Agency funding. This risk is particularly serious for Schmidt, who is reported to have, quote-unquote, invested millions of dollars into more than half a dozen defense startups and could use his influence over AFF to direct public funds and startups in which he is an investor. According to the draft press release, the fund's initial areas of focus include microelectronics, artificial intelligence, and advanced networks, including 5G and, you guessed it, 6G, which is right around the corner. This is getting pretty nervous and unsettling to me because these fundings are heading towards making artificial intelligence explode. They are giving this creation its language and the needs that it needs to equip these people with power, these 10 kings that are rising up in the world. Understand what's going on here, folks. These 10 kings are going to await their 1 hour with the beast. This is what this is building to. This is the crescendo of the book of Revelations, building up right here before your eyes, folks. This is biblical prophecy right now happening before your eyes. This new fund is the latest sign of Schmidt's unusual and far-reaching influence in technology, investing in national security matters. Schmidt stepped down as Google's CEO in 2011 and 4 years later as its chairman. During his time at the company, however, he amassed $19 billion fortune, which he has deployed in a wide range of investments and technology startups with potential military and intelligence applications. At the same time, Schmidt has carved out an unusual role for a private citizen in shaping U.S. defense policy. That's kind of freaking scary, right? From 2016 to 2020, he chaired the Defense Innovation Board, which provided advice to the U.S. Defense Secretary and other senior Pentagon brass on emerging technologies. Schmidt's role in suggesting technologies and vendors to the Pentagon reportedly stirred the concerns of at least one government ethics officials. You gotta kind of wonder who these vendors are, because they could be people who are taking stem cell technology and artificial intelligence to the next level. They really are transhumanists at heart, and they really don't have a God in which they serve except for themselves. Underlying this close web of relationships, the Defense Secretary Carter, who will serve on the board of AFF, tapped Schmitz to lead the DIB, the Defense Innovation Board. From 2018 to 2021, Schmidt also chaired the National Security Commission on Artificial Intelligence. Isn't this interesting? Which advised Congress and the White House on ways AI could be used to address U.S. defense needs. That work appears to have set the stage for the creation of AFF. This story goes on and on and on, following the trails of fundraisers for Joe Biden, AFF CEO Gilman Louie, also, QTEL investment in satellite mapping, company called Keyhole. It continues to go on and on and on, folks. If you want to delve into this a little bit more, like I said, head on over to Patreon and you can pick up those links and get right to work. Or, like I know you are, have a brain and can do it yourself. Meta slapped with an 8 lawsuit over algorithms that hook youth and ruin their lives. Bloomberg is reporting that victims are fighting back by filing lawsuits in federal courts, stating that Facebook and Instagram have been hit with lawsuits claiming their programs are addictive, especially to young persons, and cause psychological and emotional harm that can last a lifetime. It's about time, folks. The effects of continuous reinforcement on social media acts to trigger the release of dopamine in the brain is similar to taking hard drugs. And last but not least, I saved this for last because I hope that you can get a good laugh out of all the crazy nonsense that is going on in today's world. French President Emmanuel Macron said it's time to vaccinate everything that can be vaccinated, sending shockwaves through the French Twittersphere. This is just incredible. So, in another sign that the campaign of the CV19er gene therapy, it's not a vaccination, folks. Call it what it is. Stop being labely stupid and loathfully ignorant. It is a gene therapy. It's a messenger ribonucleic acid. So this campaign in Europe is far from over. Macron suggested last week that the appropriate response to the crisis in France, outstrained emergency healthcare services, is to vaccinate everything that can be vaccinated. So I'm just going to sum up this article just in itself is all these globalists, Luciferian psychopaths keep saying they want to sterilize their entire environment and just make sure that everything is clean. Why don't we, the people who are the 99%, put these psychopaths in little bubbles so they can be sterilized away from the rest of us who actually are okay with life and are, living and doing the same things we're always doing. And that way we can put all these bubbles together in a little bath and then keep them there. And, we just keep pouring a little soap on them, making sure that they're all nice and clean. And yeah, these freaking psychopaths, I just had to lighten the mood a little bit because it's getting really intense in the world, folks. But I want to make sure that you understand that Yeshua is returning. We don't need to have the cares of this life because we're looking forward to the kingdom of Yahweh. And all in all, we need to be like David and show our confidence in Yahweh and crave his help in our lives. Psalms 31, in thee, O Lord, do I put my trust. Let me never be ashamed. Deliver me in thy righteousness. Bow down thine ear to me. Deliver me speedily. Be thou my strong rock for a house of defense to save me. For thou art my rock and my fortress, therefore, for thy name's sake, lead me and guide me. Pull me up out of the net that they have laid privately for me. For thou art my strength. Into thine hand I commit my spirit. Thou hast redeemed me, O Lord, God of truth. I have hated them that regard lying vanities, but I trust in Yahweh. I will be glad and rejoice in thy mercy, for thou hast considered my trouble. Thou hast known my soul in adversities, and hast not shut me up into the hand of the enemy. Thou hast set my feet in a large room. Have mercy upon me, O Lord, for I am in trouble. Mine eye is consumed with grief, yea, my soul and my belly. For my life is spent with grief, and my years with sighing. My strength faileth because of mine iniquity, and my bones are consumed. I was a reproach among all mine enemies, but especially among my neighbors, and a fear to mine acquaintances. They that did see me without fled from me. I am forgotten as a dead man out of mind. I am like a broken vessel, for I have heard the slander of many. Fear was on every side. While they took counsel together against me, they devised to take away my life. But I trusted in thee, O Lord. I said, Thou art my Yahweh. My times are in thy hand. Deliver me from the hand of mine enemies, and from them that persecute me. Make thy face to shine upon thy servant. Save me for thy mercy's sake. Let me not be ashamed, O Lord, for I have called upon thee. Let the wicked be ashamed, and let them be silent in the grave. Let the lying lips be put to silence, which speak grievous things proudly and contemptuously against the righteous. O how great is thy goodness, which thou hast laid up for them that fear thee, which thou hast wrought for them that trust in thee before the sons of men. Thou shalt hide them in the secret of thy presence from the pride of men. Thou shalt keep them secretly in a pavilion from the strife of tongues. Blessed be Yahweh, for he hath showed me his marvelous kindness in a strong city. For I said in my haste, I am cut off from before thine eyes. Nevertheless, thou heardest the voice of my supplications when I cried unto thee. O love the Lord, all ye his saints, for the Lord preserveth the faithful, and plentiful rewardeth the proud doer. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart, all ye that hope in Yahweh. I hope this message has blessed you. I love you all so very dearly. Please keep looking up. Our redemption draweth nigh. Maranatha, everyone. He's coming soon.